What's up?
Teen Vogue.
We're the cast of the
Kissing Booth 2.
And these are our firsts.
Boom!
Wow.
done, ladies and gentlemen. First time I met all of these guys, I was immediately in love with all of them. And that is the truth. Joel and I have actually known each other for several years, but we didn't like hang out. But the first time we actually we're spending time together was during dance rehearsal for the first movie. And I remember he rocked up wearing a shirt with Minions on it, and I was like, that's my boy. And then we were really close ever since.
Megan and I actually worked together before. We met on Legends of Tomorrow. Megan, what was the character? And you had this amazing, gorgeous period.
I played Zelda Fitzgerald.
Yes! Oh my gosh, it was incredible.
1920s Paris. Yeah, that was so fun.
It was so nice.
I met Taylor in the chemistry read for the Kissing Booth 2, and I walked in and I had already talked to Vince, and Vince was like, he's so great, we just can't wait to hear what you think about him. And I walked in and I was like, holy handsome! And then, we had the best time ever.
Yeah, it's pretty great, yeah. My first non-acting job was detailing cars and mowing the lawn. I think my dad made me start doing it when I was like 10 or 11. You know, family business, there's no age. You know, you just go, hey, you're coming to shop today, and then you gotta start cleaning.
My first one was, I was working in this clothing store called Jack Will's, and I just remember, for some reason, being a cashier, like a checkout person, was like the symbol of maturity. I was like, Dad, you have to be so responsible and so wise to have this position, and that was what I got given, and I just ruled that position. I remember just feeling like, this is it, I've made it. Like, I'm an adult now. I was 16, I was like, you better give me your money, I'm gonna give you a change, this is gonna be a good day.
My first job was, I worked in a fish and chip restaurant in a little seaside town in South Africa. All I really remember is that the smell of the oil would always get into your clothes. Very glamorous.
Did you work at Kalki's?
Yeah, no, not in Kalki. It was called Salty Sea Dog, and it was inside this town.
By the shark diving and the penguins.
Yeah.
That place is so good.
That's where I worked.
Oh, yes.
My first job ever was a Life cereal commercial. I was 4 years old, and I've just been, cruising in the industry ever since.
My first paid role was Star Wars. I had this little role with Star Wars, and I just remember because I'd always done theater my whole life, and then this was the first time that I was doing on-screen acting, and I had no idea, I didn't know what my mark was, I didn't know any of the formalities of it, and I had this scene with Carrie Fisher, and it was just me and her, and I was just like, okay, baptism by fire, and she was so sweet and so kind, and J.J. Abrams it was all shot on film, and he was just sitting there, he wasn't even looking at the monitors, he was just looking at us like this, and it was just the best first experience, but I definitely got thrown in the deep end.
My first was a film called The Challenger Disaster, about the Challenger that exploded in the 70s, and I played Michael Feynman's daughter, and he solved the mystery of that. That was my first job. That feels like a long time ago.
Man, I want to tell you about my first unpaid job because it's the most embarrassing thing in the world. I refused to do anything speaking on stage at this church that I went to as a kid, and so they put me in a lamb costume in the nativity, and I just had to sit there and look around, and that was my first. That was the first acting role.
Oh my god!
But the first real one, it definitely tops Carrie Fisher. Is I got hit in the face with a lemon by Miranda Cosgrove. That's
Taylor, I love you so much.
That's like baptism by fire right there.
Oh my god.
So my first role was actually also in a J.J. Abrams movie. I played Joe Lamb in Super 8.
So badass, man.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. It was so funny because, similarly, Maisie, to you, I showed up on set, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first day of work ever, and it was just insanity, absolute craziness.
That's such a boss move. You're just like, the lead of a movie first time around.
Yeah, that's intense.
It was wild, to say the least.
Mine was for my mom. Both my parents are actors, and it was actually for a play they did in the West End. And it was called The Royal Family. I was 9, and it was like, Judi Dench was in it, and Emily Blunt when she was 18, and I just remember turning up with my massive, those flare trousers. It was like denim flare, probably like as wide as I was tall, and I had this like velvet red floor-length jacket that had like feathers all the way down it. And I was just like, this is it. This is my moment. Like, I've made it. And obviously, I was completely ushered to the side and didn't get a photo. But I just remember seeing it all and being like, wow, like this is pretty cool.
I think my first red carpet was like I think it was for Horton Hears a Who, the premiere. I did a voice in that movie. And I remember like going to pick out the outfit with my mom. We like went shopping together, and I got this like little polka dot dress, and like I paired like a little long sleeve shirt underneath it. And I asked my mom if she would do my hair in like high pigtails. And I walked on that carpet, and I immediately was like threw the hand on the hip, and I was like, let's go, baby. I think I was like 6 years old or something, and I was like, I'm in it to win it.
So my first red carpet was on the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, and we were doing press for Super 8. So we walked out on the carpet, and it was funny because we were following the Black Eyed Peas, and they got a huge cheer when they were announced on the carpet, and then they announced and the boys from Super 8, and everyone's like, well, we've never heard of that, so I don't know who they are. And then right after us was Ariana Grande. And so huge cheers, and then it was a dead zone for 2 minutes, and then massive cheers, and it was absolutely hysterical.
I've never walked a red carpet IRL in my dreams. So this is gonna be it. I mean, do we get to walk a red carpet? I don't know.
No, because it's quarantine. But listen here, buddy boy. Soon enough.
I've got a good first kiss story. So I am classically very uncomfortable with girls. And so I wasn't dating anyone. I had never dated anyone. I was 15 years old. My first kiss was in a chemistry read for a movie I was auditioning for, and they'd settled on me, so I was the only guy, and they ran 4 girls through the audition in about 30 minutes. And the director's, I want you to kiss them all. So my first kiss is 4 girls within 30 minutes of each other, and I was like, what just happened?
My first kiss was for a movie. I was 14 years old, and my first kiss was with who's now a good friend of mine, Keegan Allen from Pretty Little Liars. And I was so nervous, and he didn't know it was my first kiss. And I told our crew and everybody not to tell him, but then the beans got out, the beans got spilled. And I was so embarrassed. Oh my God, and I was shaking, I was so nervous. But he was so sweet about it, so it all worked out great. This is my favorite question. Freddie Highmore. All day, every day, still think he's a super babe. I'm a huge fan of his, and I met him when I was 14 years old, and I almost passed out because I thought my heart was going to jump out of my chest. I was so in love with him, it actually pained me how much I was in love with him. Anyway, anyone else wanna go?
My first celebrity crush was Angelina Jolie.
Oh.
I actually got a poster of Tomb Raider, and my dad went to an auction and bought it, and it's signed by Angelina Jolie, and I actually still have it hanging on.
That's hysterical. My first celebrity crush was Taylor Swift. Back when she was doing just a guitar and just her, and I just thought that was awesome.
Cute.
Mine was age 7 Britney Spears. So Britney Spears, old school Britney Spears. I just remember I had this DVD, what do you call them, VHS, of her doing this world tour, and then she would go and pop up at random fans' houses and I was just sitting there please. I just really thought that it was just random and that she would just turn up at your door one day, and I was just oh my gosh, she's gonna turn up at my door, always be ready. I remember just turning to my mom and I was like, Mom, it's that age where it's am I in love with you or do I just want to be you? Like, you know, I'm not sure what it is, but I was just obsessed. She'll always have a special place in my heart.
I was playing basketball in high school and I dove for the ball and then someone stepped on my shorts. So my momentum carried me forward and my shorts got like ripped down to my ankles. And like my whole family, my entire class, the entire school, the girl that I like had a crush on at the time, like everyone was in the stands, right? And I just like yanked him up, red-faced, got back on defense, and it's hysterical now. But like that truly was a hard day.
My first breakup was with somebody who I care for still, and I still every now and then say hello to them. I was young. So I was upset with how the relationship was going, so I just kind of like, I ended it over a voice memo.
Ooh, that's brutal.
And if he sees this, you know who you are, and I apologize about that.
My partner surprised me. It was my press night for my first play in the West End, and I was super, super nervous, and they were in LA. And you know, and I'm texting, and you know, and I was like, okay, they're probably going to sleep now. And then I come out of the press night, and they were standing right there, and they'd like flown from LA to London to come and see me with a big bunch of flowers, and that was really cute.
That is so sweet.
My heart just missed a beat.
Thanks so much, Teen Vogue. These were our firsts, and we'll see you again next time.